Hello, Facebook. Happy Thursday evening. I hope you're all at home having wrapped up dinner and all that stuff. I was really desperately determined to do this again from the car when it was light outside, but I did not have the kind of day that allowed that, and just got home and let my dog out, who's settling in next to me, and picked a couple tomatoes from the garden, and I'm tossing a pasta salad in a minute. But wanted to fill you in on the events of the week. October is a crazy busy time. Lots of things happening, including, of course, leaf peeping season in our neck of the woods. It's getting to be quite beautiful out there, despite the rain today. So I wanted, first of all, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I before I ran for office, one of the things that took up a lot of my time was doing work for Women's Support Services in Sharon, Connecticut, and the magnificent work that they do, and Susan B. Anthony does on behalf of victims of domestic violence and families in our neck of the woods. And I want to acknowledge them today, and in particular because we also had a press conference today with Attorney General Tong about an issue that involves rape kits or do-it-yourself rape kits, essentially, that are being marketed online. And they are a really troubling thing because, at a moment when a victim is most traumatized, to be given a pathway to be able to, instead of going to a hospital or to a domestic violence or sexual assault agency, to be given the illusion that you can do this at home is troubling because it's not clear that evidence is ever going to be usable in court or could ever be capable of proving the things that it needs to do in court. So we held a press conference today to draw attention to the fact that these kits are not what they hold themselves out to be, and that not only do they not give victims access to counselors and the healing that they will need, but it's not clear that these kits are going to be able to help them prove their cases in court. So I'm very heartened that Attorney General Tong is giving attention to that issue and having conversations with the manufacturers about that. Excuse me while I rescue something from my dog. Come here now. Come sit in my lap if you want. So thanks to Women's Support Service and Susan B. for the incredible work they do in our communities, and I'll put some information about how to reach out to them and in the newsletter tomorrow. October, on another note, is also Energy Awareness Month, and there are lots of ways for all of us to be aware of our consumption of energy and to curb that and to pay attention to their personal habits, and I'll put some information about that on there as well. There are all kinds of things that we can do at home that are both save money and help our environment. So I'll put information about that. There were a couple of good, interesting pieces out recently about the economy. There was one, both of these articles I'll post in the newsletter, but there was an interesting piece in the Current on Torrington and how fantastic a place it is to be an entrepreneur and to start a business. And having just recently spent a lot of time in the central downtown area of Torrington and looked at talked to a lot of people who are developing new businesses, housing, all kinds of renovating existing spaces and building new ones. So that article really fit well in with that. So that was kind of exciting. There was also, some of you may have read earlier this week, there was a piece in the Wall Street Journal that really hailed Connecticut's uptick in our economy, and that we are on a path of fiscal stability, somewhat different than we have been in the past, and really it put a bright, highlighted a lot of bright outlook in our economic future. So that was also interesting. A couple of events that I wanted to highlight from the last week. One that I missed, which was the Botel School came to the Capitol for a tour, and that happened to be at the time that I, as you know, went away to celebrate my 25th anniversary with my husband, which was also great. But I'm so sorry to have missed the Botel School. I hope you had a great tour. Those tours are really fun, and I look forward to seeing more of you out there at some point, but I'm sorry that I missed you guys. I also went to an event last night for the 21st Century Fund, which is a fund that has helped augment educational opportunities at Houstonic Valley Regional High School. And Jahana Hayes came and spoke to us, and it's so fun to have the not only our Congresswoman, but the teacher of the year, former teacher of the year, come and talk about how much she believes in and has invested in the young people that have been her charges over the years. And just to be in a room with all those, first of all just going through all the students presenting their work that they've done, much of which has been funded by grants from the 21st Century Fund, and to listen to them talk about the work, what they've learned, and their knowledge and passion and excitement, and the teachers who have mentored them, and also be in the room with them and the teachers and the people, parents in the community that have supported them over the years is a really powerful thing and says a lot about our community. So that was quite fun. It's their 25th anniversary also. So I meant to acknowledge that. They also had their 25th anniversary. Congratulations to them. I also went to an event just earlier this evening. One of the reasons that I got home as late as I did is I went to one of a number of events about the upcoming census. And essentially a group of us community leaders were gathered in Torrington to try to figure out how to make sure that we can get as many people as possible to respond to the census and to have confidence in it, because it is so critical, especially, there's been a lot of conversation in the news recently about, over the last several months about a question that was that the current federal administration tried to add to the census, which would have depressed responses, and we have successfully kept that out. So it's important to continue to remind people, first of all, that this information is safe. It is not being used for either political or immigration or any other purposes. We need to count everyone who's living in our communities, and we need to, one of the things we emphasized at this meeting was that we need to make sure we get information out from people that people in the community trust, because this has a huge impact on the resources available to our community, and it is meant to be an accurate count of everyone living here, and it's really critical that everyone participate in that. So stay tuned for that. They're also hiring people to be enumerators for the census, which is at first they're going to try to get as many people as possible to respond online, but the follow-up will be on foot, knocking on doors. So I'm familiar with that, and I know many of you are. So I'm going to post some information about that when they get to the point that they're going to be looking for people, and they're going to have various events, certainly in Torrington. And tonight I discussed with one of the local leaders about doing a couple of events in the more northwest corner of the northwest corner. So stay tuned about that. Upcoming events. First of all, I have put together a forum that I'm really excited about, which is it's focusing on essentially the just skyrocketing prices of prescription drugs and generic drugs in particular, and the things that we're trying to do to help curb that, things that we have already done and things that we're looking to do in the future. And so I have a group of, a really great panel, including the Attorney General, Representative Sean Scanlon from Guilford, who has been a leader in this area for several years, and a number of other community leaders. So that is going to take place on October 22nd at 9:30 in the morning. Now that is a Tuesday morning at 9:30, and I recognize that is not a convenient time for a lot of people, and I apologize for that. I tried to do it. Most of my events, as you know, I've had either in the evening or on the weekend. But given the number of people that I was pulling together for this, I wasn't able to do that. So unfortunately, it's going to be on Tuesday at 9:30. I hope many of you can come anyway. But if you if you have a question, first of all, that you'd like to make sure that gets asked at that forum and you can't attend, please let me know. You know where to find me. If you would really like to come to a forum that's at a more convenient time for you to come, also let me know, and I'll, after this first one, we'll see what we can do about arranging a second one, because I think it's really important information that we get out there. So again, I apologize if that time is inconvenient for you, but it was the best we could do given the number of people that we're trying to pull together. A couple of other things. One, there is my dear friend Jill Drew, is screening a couple of documentaries about JFK, about John F. Kennedy, that her family has done. And she's doing that. It's a fundraiser for the Sharon Democratic Town Committee. And the screenings are on Friday at 7 p.m. That is tomorrow at 7 p.m. And on Sunday at 2 p.m., both at Sharon Town Hall. And they're really fantastic films. It's a great opportunity to see them. So I hope you can join us. I will be there on Friday, and looking forward to it. A couple other things I wanted to highlight. The Norfolk Historical Society this coming weekend is doing a great special exhibit called Bibliomania, which bookmania, focusing on some serious collectors of books in Norfolk in the 18th century, I think. And many of the several of the rare books in the Norfolk Library and the Norfolk Historical Society will be on display this weekend at I'll post the information about it, but it's the opening is between 4 and 7 p.m. tomorrow. And okay, another film screening, Civic Life, which I have mentioned before, which is an organization that does a lot of things, but recently has worked with several middle schools here, elementary schools here, to produce short documentary films on topics of real interest and impact in our community. And they're going to be filming those student films. They're going to be screening those films. I participated in two, one in Cornwall and one in Sharon. And so those schools are both going to be screening their films. I'll post all of this again in the newsletter, but in Cornwall, it's on Sunday, November 3rd from 3 to 4 at the Cornwall Library, and the topics are co-ed teams, the education budget, healthcare, homeless veterans, and the Second Amendment. So these are, and the films that I was in an interview for, these kids are super on top of it, really well done, and really thoughtful. Sharon also is doing one on October 20th from 4 to 5 at the Hotchkiss Library in Sharon, on the Second Amendment, on dress codes, and on kneeling during the anthem. So I look forward to attending both of those. And one final other big event that I'm really looking forward to is an open house at Freund Farm in East Canaan. And that is on Sunday, October 6th from 11 to 2 p.m. And that's in conjunction with the ongoing celebration of the Cabot Creamery Cooperative's 100th year, which is pretty amazing. One of the things that's really notable about our dairy community is the cooperative around here and the way they work together and have done incredible entrepreneurial and innovative things in their business in order to keep themselves going in a very difficult time for dairy farms. So I hope you can join me there at the farm, again, Sunday, October 6th from 11 to 2. So looking forward to that one. And I just also want to thank you. So many of you reached out to wish me a happy anniversary, and that was really thoughtful and kind. I spent the weekend with my husband, having tucked off our kids off to college and jobs. We took our dog to the Adirondacks and did our best to try to tire her out, hiking as many hours and as much altitude as we could. And felt like we did a pretty prodigious job of that. And got a glimpse of the leaf season, which of course is coming to us. And there's lots of stuff flying around, particularly in Hartford, about places that you can view fall foliage. And I don't need to tell anyone in the Northwest corner that we have the best fall foliage there is. So make sure you get out there, take a hike, and leave no trace. Leave the trail better for your presence. So that's it for this week. Lots going on. Sorry to be doing this in the evening again. Hopefully next time I'll come to you from the car, because I know many of you like it when I do it from the car. But have a great weekend and talk to you soon.